Hi, welcome to the Linux channel. So hope you remember long back I have done a small test project with my Arduino. I have connected this to the LED and I was able to drive this RGB LED with a custom code so that it does sequence of red, green, blue with a dimming sequence. So I have ordered a few things in Amazon this week. One of that, it includes this USB power monitoring device. It is quite handy, and this Arduino, I need to use it for a specific project. I may couple it with some relays and stuff, but before that I thought let me build some portable power source. I got this battery sourced from an old ZTE phone. So this battery is actually, it belongs to this phone. You can see here it's an old phone and its screen is cracked, and after that I don't want to do anything with this phone, and moreover it has some personal data and I don't want to give it to any repairing shop and they get hold of that data. So I don't want to do anything with this. One thing I can recover from this phone is this battery, and literally if I put the battery, all I can do is charge this battery through this cracked phone, but once I boot it is no longer going to function. Okay, so that's what so this battery is perfectly fine. It's a LiPo battery. It's a lithium polymer battery. It's around 2400 milliamp hours, so that's what is the specs. So it's around 3.8 volts and so and so. So it's quite handy. You can make a small makeshift power bank or a power source for this Arduino. So before that I need to measure how much it consumes or takes that overall current. So with this anyway we can measure, and I have this portable Xiaomi power bank. You can see here, this is quite handy. If this is not sufficient, I can anyway use this huge power bank. So what we can do is we can hook to this and we can just quickly measure. So let's not much take into account in case if I connect with a relay or something. Of course it needs some more additional power, but we can have some very minimum idea that how much is this Arduino board as it is going to consume. So I just hooked to the same, as you can see, and we can hook to this source. Okay, so once it is hooked, let me just bring this to the camera. You can see it is powering this LED. I can turn off this light so that you can have a better look. Yep, so you can see here this camera I have adjusted as manual focus and manual settings, so it is not going to do auto exposure. So you can see it is going to shift through this RGB sequence, and I can read in this meter around let me just try to tilt this towards the camera. I can read around 5.16. If I can able to zoom, I can try the same, so you can have a better look. So you can see it's around 5.16 volts, and it's consuming barely any power. It is showing around 0.02 amps, so which is just quite less. So it is just showing and flipping around 0 and 2. Okay, so it is quite negligible. It's not much. I believe if I convert to milliamps, it is going to be around 0.02 into 1000, so 20 milliamps or something like that. Okay, so let me just turn on this light, and before that I can adjust the focus. Yes, so let me just get the focus. Yes, so you can see here that's what it barely consumes. So in that case this power source or this battery is more than enough. So let me just quickly disconnect the same, and we just keep this aside. So what I did is I ordered this from Amazon along with this power meter whatever. So it is quite handy. So this is a small makeshift power bank circuit board. I ordered a pair. In fact, I can break in the middle. It is in pair. I got 2 pieces and they sent like this effectively. Actually, I can break it and make into 2 units. Okay, so these are actually 2 units. So let me just try to focus zoom towards the same. Yes, so you can see this is the one, and they are clearly marked B plus and B minus. So you can effectively connect 2 batteries and 2 lithium-ion batteries, and you can charge it, and you can charge to this micro USB, and you can get its charge or power out from this regular USB. So this is what. So it is quite handy. You have also some with LCD displays and other stuff. So I thought let me just buy something very compact so that I can later put this into some unit. Okay, so at this moment I just want to hook everything so that we can test if this is enough to power this Arduino, and we can see that how we can use anything like this. So that it is quite handy. These kind of batteries are quite good because they come with anyway some amount of cell protection circuit, as we know already. So apart from that, we can also have this stuff. We can directly hook this to any 18650s and stuff, but hooking to this battery is more makes sense. We will have dual protection, so if anything goes wrong. So I thought let me make it a bit modular. I got this jumper cables, regular jumper wires, and this heat shrink. So I can do something like over here I can solder this part, and I can expose these pins, and on the battery side I can solder one of this, and this is the female part. So somehow I can mate these things, and I can make it work. And if I don't want or if I want to change this power source, I can pick some other battery and then I can shift. So that's the basic idea. I don't want to connect any complicated connectors or something like that. So I just pick these 2 random pairs. So this is orange and yellow out of this bunch, and I can take similar colored ones out of this bunch. And all we can do is we can cut this in half, and we can solder this to the battery, and we can cut this in half and we can solder to this board, and we see that we can able to use this or repurpose this as a makeshift power source for this tiny project what I am having on my bench. So let me cut the same approximately over here. I need some length, so let me cut somewhere here. So we have 1/2, and I can cut this as well somewhere here. We have the other half, and in fact I can make use of this for that other module as well. So I can solder this to this module, I can solder this to this module. Effectively I will have 2 such power sources. Okay, so this we can use. So we keep 1 pair away, and we can use this. So let me just quickly strip and solder the same. It's quite fun. I have even more such good mobile phone batteries. We can repurpose something like this. Okay, so it is just both fun at the same time. We can repurpose such old hardware. So let me just quickly strip these terminals. So I am into hobby electronics since my childhood. So certain things, I just do things like this. Especially I am more fascinated in terms of any power supply sources and stuff like that when it comes to doing stuff in electricals and electronics. Okay, besides system software programming and networking stuff. Yep, so I stripped the same. What we can do is we can just little bit dip into this soldering paste, and we can wet this terminals before we solder to that. Okay, the soldering iron is hot now. I forgot to turn on the same before I started this video. It is quite hot. Let me just wet this these wires before I put them onto the board. Okay. Yep, it's both been tinned. What I can do is I can connect this this one to the board. I am going to choose orange for positive and yellow for negative. So let me little bit apply this solder paste over there, a bit of solder paste, and I can have an option that I can either put it underneath or towards this side. I'm not sure which direction to use. Maybe I can use this way because here it has some amount of this electronics, as you can see here. Let me just bring this board. So if you see here, it has this the entire components. Okay, so I can do this side and I can solder on the other side. Either way it is fine. Or I can put this underneath here, B plus. So let me put this orange one and the yellow one here. Yep, and I can solder over this side actually. Okay, so let me little bit fold that wire so that it acts like a strain relief. Okay, yep, so it is already hooking that board in a way. So let me keep this here and I can solder this thing. Yes, so it's done. Yes, it's done. And yep, it is quite secure. It's done. We can do one thing we can do with the battery as well. It is quite dangerous, but I need to be quite swift because any wrong move, it is going to overheat that circuit or the battery itself. So let me try to mount in some way so that I can get that access. Okay, so let me just keep this way so that I get that better viewing angle, so I can see here what I am doing. So I can quickly wet that contacts and then solder that wires. So I need to be quite fast when you do something like this, and moreover you need to be careful with that middle pin. Yep, this one is done, and this one is, I have applied a bit of excess flux. I better scrape this terminal so that it can expose some bare metal. Okay, yep, yes, it looks fine. May a little bit wet that contact. Yes, it's good, and let me check it is this side is positive, so let me solder this over this side. Yep, and this side is the negative. I'm trying to keep as much away from that middle pin so that accidentally I'm not soldering and touching that stuff. I hope it have some sort of sensing logic, either heat or whatever it is. Yes, it's done. It's done, it's secure. I have this hot glue, and what I can do is I can also a little bit pot it around so that it is not loose and it is going to come out when I'm using the same. Okay, so I can do that. Before that, let me just do a quick test. So negative is connected to this yellow wire and positive to this orange wire, so it is fine. What I can do is I can plug this to this board. Yep, and yellow to yellow. Yes, it's done. We can secure it with a tape or something like that. I even have some medical grade tape like this. You can get it in a store. It's called as a multi-porous surgical tape. The unique thing about this tape is it is more like a masking tape. Okay, so it doesn't leave any glue residue. Let me get this to this in front of the camera, so you can see here. This is the tape. You can get it in any stores, medical stores which sells surgical stuff. So this tape is quite handy because you can put and then you can peel. It is quite really handy. It is more like a masking tape. And it doesn't leave any glue residue. Okay, you can apply it and you can remove as many times as you want, unlike any regular cellophane tape or something like that. So I can use this tape and I can just secure these leads for now. Okay, so I better do it individual leads so that they are not shorting out. And yes, one of the leads, as you can see, I have just covered the same so that it is not loose. You can see here, and the other lead I can connect both together and I can secure it. Yep, so let me just secure the same. I'm more worried about lithium ions because I have done some goof ups, and if something goes wrong, it really goes wrong very fast. Okay, so which is why if you do anything like this, if you are not that confident in terms of doing any DIY stuff, be alert whenever you do anything with lithium ions. Okay, so let me connect this power meter. Yep, it powers up. Let me just do a reset. It is something in the evening I was measuring some charge I am putting in this this thing, battery bank from my solar power rig. Yeah, it is showing around 5.2 volts. So let me try to connect this Arduino. Hope it works. Okay, cool. Yeah, it works. You can see here it works, and it is showing the same power output. It is just 0.02 amps. I believe it is that 20 milliamps. Yep, you can see here it is able to power this, and you can read this meter as well. Okay, so let me point towards the camera so you can see here. Okay, so it is working perfect. I think it is good. I am not sure how much power it can deliver. Is it 1 amp or 2 amps at 5 volts? I'm really not sure. What I can do is I can connect this Xiaomi power bank to this, so that we can test how much we can draw out of this this module. What we do is I can detach this and I can connect to this board, and we try to power up this Xiaomi power bank. Yeah, it is drawing around half an amp to 1 amp. It is fluctuating because it is actually fully charged. Please note this is fully charged, and to test I need some other source. I need something which can accept some power. Okay, since it is charged, it is just drawing around 0.6 amps. You can see here it is around 0.6 amps. If I bring towards the camera, hope you can see here. So it's around 0.6 to 0.7 amps, and it is fluctuating. It is not even 1 amp, and it is showing currently an voltage drop around 4.97. I'm not sure about the charge state of this battery as well. So I need to see that how much I can pull out of this. I need to be cautious so that I'm not pulling it all in one shot. I'm really not sure whether this cable can hold up. If not, I need to do some other alternate arrangement, because it's a quite heavy current draw. If I pull around 2 amps, I need to make sure that this is not heating up at 5 volts. Okay, so I need to make sure that it is not going to happen. Okay, something like that. Yeah, what we can do is we can try to charge the same. Of course, I can charge through this micro USB port. So let me connect to the same. Yeah, it is charging around. Yeah, you can see the LED is on, and it is currently charging at somewhere in the range of 1 amp, but it is fluctuating. So I need to see any documentation that what is this status LED is all about. Is it it sometimes blinks and sometimes stays on. Okay, I need to check the same to see that what it is all about. Okay, so I need to check the same because it's a new board. I'm really not sure what is that it's all about. Now it is not showing any charge status. It is currently showing 0 amps at 5.18 volts output. Okay, I need to explore the same. I'm not finding anything hot. It's fine. Battery is also fine. I need to check, maybe this battery is not accepting the charge, or else it is just momentarily accepted and then it is not accepting, because it is not a regular 18650. I'm not sure that this battery have some logic which it is not accepting the charge. It is cutting off. So I need to investigate the same. But one thing is, I can of course still can charge this through some rig out of this phone, and I can use it for any portable projects, which is still fine for me, because I anyway don't need this phone, and I can expose this terminals and I can charge that. But I need a standard 5 volts out of this battery where I can power such tiny boards portably. Okay, so that is my requirement. I need to investigate the same, and I need to check. I am still suspecting that the battery is cut off and it is not allowing me to charge. So is there any way to sort this out? Let me check. Luckily I have this very old battery pack which I have done. I used it for few years and it worked fine, and later this is one among the batteries, a Nokia phone battery. It is, as you can see, it has puffed up, and I no longer use this battery pack, and this is a combination of 18650s and stuff. So I built this and I used to charge via some sort of battery charging circuit. It used to work fine, but since I'm using anyway these repurposed old batteries, I'm not sure about the reliability of this mobile batteries. So what I can do is I can pull this 18650. I'm sure that this 18650 is fine, but the other batteries are quite old and it has already signs of aging and it is already gone bad. So what I can do is I can pull this out, and I can pull this out of this pack, and we can try charging this battery, because I'm still not sure whether this circuit is working fine or else the battery is not accepting this charge. Okay, we need to confirm before we conclude anything. So let me just do the same. Yep. So what I do is I pull this 18650 alone out. We don't need this cell phone batteries. We can just take this out. Yep, it is looking quite messy, but it is fine because we just need something to check. Yep, let me cut this here. Yep. Yeah, these are some couple of 18650s. This I got it from a portable 3G router, 3G or 4G router. But the batteries are fine. I have been using it for a while and it is perfectly fine. So I'm not sure about the charge state alone. We can do quickly, we can do one thing is we can solder that the other wire, and we can hook to this stuff. Yep, this looks fine. Yep, for now I just want to do a quick makeshift stuff so that we can test it. Okay, so what I do is, let me disconnect this. I hope, yep, it is disconnected. So let me just quickly disconnect the same, and see, these things are expected when you do hobby electronics. Of course, you will have a lot of unknowns because we are not getting any, raw material. Everything, we get. Okay, so this is something it is expected. So this tape is quite useful. Again, you can repurpose, but I'm in a hurry. I just want to quickly check this, charging stuff and the power output as well. So I thought, let me just do with the standard 18650s. These are a bit undercharged, but still it is fine. It should hold some amount of charge for this quick test. Okay, so this is not fully charged, it is quite undercharged, which is quite understandable. What I do is I connect to this battery power meter and I hook it to this, and we can have a look. I see similar stuff. What is intriguing me is, even if I don't connect, it is showing it is showing the voltage. It is typically the charging port, the other one is that discharge port. I'm really not sure. Maybe both they're exposing as power output. I'm really not sure. This board is quite strange. Yep, mystery solved. What is happening is, it is having some type of detection. You can see here now it is charging the batteries, and I can see the power which is going out from this power bank to this module. You can see here it is consuming around 0.6 amps, okay, and 5.1 volts, and it is charging the batteries. You can see here it is blinking and it is working fine. It is working perfectly fine. Let me just bring this towards the camera. Let me turn off this light so that you can have a look of that reading over here. Yep, you can see. So it is charging. Okay, let me get that focus. Yep, you can see here, and you can see the LED is blinking and it is able to charge. I'm really not sure why it is not working earlier. Maybe that this power bank is something, it is causing a trouble for this to detect. I did with some combination. Maybe without this it's going to work fine, and I hope whenever it charges it is going to blink and it is going to show this way. So what I do is I'm going to connect to this other battery, the phone battery, and we can quickly test whether it can also work. Whereas this one is a regular 18650s. I'm not worried about this. I have different agendas of using this these 18650s over here. As you can see, I have other agendas in terms of using that, but what I am curious is about repurposing this very good battery. Okay, so let me just do that before even wrapping up this episode. So let me disconnect the same, and we disconnect this power source and we plug this battery. I'm very happy that this board is working. I really thought something is goofed up. So yep, so it is fine, it is connected. Yep, and yeah, the meter is coming up. I'm not sure why it is outputting through that micro USB port. So we plug to this and we wait for a moment and see that if it changes the mode. Yep, it is let me disconnect this so that this will act like a power source. Okay, let me bring to this camera. So this can act like a power source so that it will immediately detect that this is a power source. Okay, let me plug this and we wait if anything happens. Okay, or let me reset this power bank. Maybe it is not compatible with this battery as well, because it may have some protection circuit, and we need to think what to do with that middle port or middle pin. Okay, yeah, it is not charging. It is not charging this battery, but it is able to provide output. You can see here this is no longer blinking. Maybe it is fully charged, so it is not blinking. Maybe it depends. I believe long back, around a month ago, I have fully charged this battery, but I am not sure about the current charge status of this battery, but I feel it is fine. This board is working fine. Worst case, if I am unable to use this battery, I can still use that couple of 18650s. I can separate them, because this was soldered and this was being put together like this in that 3G router. This is not something I made, this battery pack. This is what it came up with. I need to separate and I need to split this 18650s, and I can use them individually for any such projects. Okay, so this is rated at let me have a look. This is rated around standard. I hope they have printed. Okay, so it is rated around no, I can't see anything. It has some serial number, that's all. Yeah, it showing I'm not sure, 41133. I don't think so. That is the rating. I feel this is that standard generic 18650s. Okay, so it is not charging this at all. It is really not charging this at all. So I don't think so this is ever going to work. Or let me connect. When it is hooked up to the charger, I can also hook this load to this and see that it can activate something in this board. Okay, so let me try if something like this, if at all possible. Okay, so let me hook to this board. Yeah, the Arduino is powered up. Still I don't see any action going on. I'm not seeing any situation that it is able to charge through this Xiaomi Powerbank. No, it is not charging. So maybe I need to wait and watch. If I find anything, I'm going to put an update in the description, YouTube description, about this battery, or else it is not compatible. Or else I can do one thing. I can just cut this and then I can disconnect that battery protector, so that we can directly use that lithium ion. Anyway, we have that protection circuit over here. We don't need it on this anymore. Okay, this is something compatible to be hooked with ready 18650, something like this, which doesn't have any protection circuit. So if that is the case, I can directly use something like that, and I can disconnect that. I can make it as a dumb battery rather than something like this smart battery. So I feel we are good to go. The board is working fine. I thought it is not working fine or some issue with this output, but it is working fine. The thing which happened with this is maybe it is waiting for some type of status or something like that. Okay, I am yet to explore further before I come to any conclusion. Okay, so if at all I am unable to do anything with this, then I need to disconnect that charge protect stuff, and that temperature sensor, whatever that board they put on top of it. So hope you guys loved watching this video. If you have anything to discuss, be in touch via mail or post your queries in YouTube comments. Thanks a lot for joining me. Stay tuned. Have a nice day. Bye bye.